You know who Joe Camel is, don't you?
Ads for cigarettes, including a sleek new one for Camel number 9. And its clear target is hip young women.
Cartoon character that they use to sell cigarettes.
Tobacco companies have been hooking young people for many years. It's an addictive product, and then they can't get off the product later.
No longer will we let our kids be recruited as the next generation of smokers.
Because they view that Joe Camel apparently is a little too cute.
Yeah, I think it's seducing a bunch of kids into smoking cigarettes.
Joe Camel will be given a life sentence and put away forever.
In the world of advertising, there's a thin line between genius and controversy. Today, we're diving into the story of Joe Camel, the cartoon mascot who made smoking look cool and sparked a cultural firestorm along the way. Joe Camel, or Old Joe, was born in 1974 as part of a cigarette ad campaign by R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company. But it wasn't until his American debut in 1987 that he became a pop culture icon. The idea was to create a character that could seamlessly fit into any scenario, whether shooting pool or cruising in a convertible. And boy, did it work. Too well, in fact. Joe wasn't just selling cigarettes. He was selling a lifestyle. Here's the catch, his biggest fans weren't adults. By the early 90s, studies revealed that Joe Camel was nearly as recognizable to kids as Mickey Mouse.
Come on, look at me. Do I look like fucking Mickey Mouse to you?
No. Hell no.
Exactly. You know, if kids came up to me, I'd yell at them. Cigarettes are bad, and I'm gonna kill your parents.
It's no surprise that youth smoking rates began to climb. But why? What made Joe Camel so effective at targeting younger audiences, even if unintentionally? First, the visuals. Joe's world was vibrant and aspirational. Second, the tone. It was playful and cheeky, designed to evoke a sense of rebellion and fun. And third, the media. These ads were plastered across magazines, billboards, and even convenience stores, places easily accessible to teens. During World War I, Camel cigarettes were included in soldiers' rations, building brand loyalty among the armed forces. This gave rise to one of the brand's most famous slogans.
I'd walk a mile for a Camel.
This little demonstration was strictly for smokers who never tasted a Camel cigarette. Camel smokers, you know what we mean. You other guys, start walking.
This phrase, which became a cultural touchstone, symbolized the lengths people were willing to go for the smooth satisfaction of a Camel cigarette. This military connection added an additional layer to the brand's identity, tying Camel cigarettes to both nostalgia and resilience. But the controversy didn't stop the cash from rolling in. During Joe Camel's reign, Camel cigarette sales skyrocketed. Reports indicated that Joe Camel helped boost Camel's market share among young smokers from less than 1% to over 32% within a decade. By 1991, it was estimated that the Joe Camel campaign generated over $480 million annually for R.J. Reynolds. But Joe Camel wasn't operating in a vacuum. Across the decades, he faced stiff competition and ongoing controversies. From Marlboro's rugged cowboy, the Marlboro Man, to other tobacco companies pushing edgy campaigns, the industry was in a fierce battle for dominance. While the Marlboro Man appealed to older, rugged masculinity, Joe Camel's charm was in his youthful, urban vibe, and women were not left out of the equation. During the height of the Joe Camel campaign, R.J. Reynolds also sought to expand its appeal among women smokers. While Joe himself remained the central figure, the ads often included glamorous female characters or hinted at a lifestyle that appealed to both genders. Studies showed that during this period, there was a subtle rise in smoking rates among young women. And critics were quick to point out how marketing tactics often included romanticized depictions of smoking as part of a modern, fashionable lifestyle. From being accused of targeting youth to sparking debates about the role of advertising in public health, Joe Camel's legacy was deeply intertwined with the broader controversies of the tobacco industry. These rivalries, gendered appeals, and ethical battles not only shaped Joe's rise, but also led to his eventual downfall. The downfall began in 1997, when mounting pressure from health organizations and public outcry finally forced R.J. Reynolds to retire Joe Camel.
Joe Camel will be given a life sentence and put away forever.
The company also agreed to a massive $206 billion settlement as part of the Master Settlement Agreement. which imposed strict restrictions on tobacco advertising. Joe Camel was gone, but the damage had been done.